In today's economy, more people than ever are looking to buy and sell businesses. But how do you do it? Welcome to the Deal Board, presented by Transworld Business Advisors. Straight talk about real deals and real people. Listen to stories, interviews, and expert advice to help your business sale, merger, or acquisition process. Now, here are your business exit experts, Andy and JT.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to a great episode of the Deal Board. And I am here with JT, and we've talked about in the past, getting your business ready to sell and deal points. But this is specifically to the sellers. Once they sign up a business, there are things that you need to do now to get that sale done.
Yeah. So you've said, I'm ready to go. Let's get my paperwork in order. You're working with the broker. The broker says, good, we got everything signed. Now we're going to bring it to market. Here's the things that you don't want to do. Don't make these 10 mistakes.
Yeah, these are definitely 10 mistakes that we've seen over time. We'll tell you some stories in between.
And we'll cut it into 2 episodes.
Yeah.
We'll do the first 1 through 5 this episode and then come back for the second episode to get 6 through 10. Because these are all worth digging into.
Yeah, they are. They are absolutely. We used to actually send out a letter to our sellers with these 10 items, and we're going to bring that back. We're going to maybe do some videos, maybe do some drip campaigns, because it's so important that once people sign up to sell, everybody thinks they could just sit back.
Right. Well, I'm for sale.
Right.
That's the time to put the pedal to the metal, right?
and what's the first thing?
Right. Okay. So number 1 is, you've heard this before.
Sure.
Even before you're preparing to sell, get your books and records in order. Don't wait till you're ready to sell to do that. You should be doing that even long before. But then once you've got it listed, now you got to not only have them in order, you got to keep them up to date and keep them organized, because the buyer's going to need to do due diligence. And that's where deals start falling apart.
Yeah, it's so funny. I am in a deal right now, where the seller has had the business for a long time, and it's an SBA loan.
Okay.
And what does the SBA want to see? They want to see the lease.
Yes.
And apparently there is a lease and 10 addendums.
Oh, wow. So it's been there a while.
And guess what they can't find? I don't know, about 2 or 3 of the addendums. And we're months into this deal. Shame on me, I guess, but we should have handled this a long time ago.
Probably. Like, I need a copy of the lease.
No, I mean, like, that's getting your books and records.
That's right.
Is finding them.
Right.
How many clients do we have that can't find their tax returns and they can't,
Or they find paperwork, but it wasn't executed. Well, we didn't sign it. This was the draft. Right. That's not going to be good enough.
Or you don't have your password to your Paychex account. Or, it's crazy stuff that people ask for in due diligence. If you just thought about it and said, hey, let me look at a typical due diligence list, and let me put all this stuff together now. Now, your broker should be asking for most of it.
Right.
But they might not ask for 10 addendums to your lease. They might have asked for your initial lease.
The initial lease is probably what they did. Right.
So getting your books and records up to date.
And I think that goes back to, the early stages when you first list the business. Contact your accountant and get your broker and the accountant talking to each other, because the broker is going to be asking you all kinds of questions, which you probably don't know the answer to, or some of the time, but the accountant's going to know, and the accountant and the broker need to be together. They need to be in sync, because when they start looking for those due diligence items, they're going to need to be able to provide them quickly.
I've looked for things sometimes, and you know what I don't have sometimes is signed copies.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Right. You don't have you don't have them signed both ways. Right. I mean, maybe you have. I looked for my landlord lease as someone drove through our window in Orlando. They missed the parking. I guess
too far. Yeah. Hit the brake.
Missed the brake, hit the gas. Oops. And so I was looking for a signed copy of our lease, and I did not have it signed both ways. I had my signs half.
Right. You didn't get one from the landlord.
It's this kind of stuff that if you're scrambling at the end of the deal and it's a holiday or it's the end of the year or you're trying to get landlords to respond, we have a landlord right now that we're working on a deal for a fast food place that we all know and love. And the landlord's taken 90 days just to even look at the file.
Really?
But if we would have started this to find those
Right.
documents, you can get it done. So,
Yeah. So get your books and records up to date, get them organized. As soon as you've listed it with your agent, your broker, make sure you've got all of that in a file. Prefer to be digital if you can get them that way,
Right.
because then that could all be uploaded into a data room, which is easily accessible
Right.
by the buyers during due diligence. So, okay, number 2.
Number 2 is keeping good books and records going forward. And now there's plenty of businesses out there that are using different kind of methodologies to hide
That's a nice
income.
way to say it.
Yeah, I mean, strategies. Let's
Okay,
call them
strategies, good.
aggressive strategies.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But if you're doing something like that, and I have a good example again. So our UAE folks here at Transworld, they don't have tax returns in the UAE.
Mm.
So businesses are not required to keep books and records,
Okay.
which is interesting. Now, he says, in this digital age, in the world of KPIs and keeping good books and records and inventory management, a lot of businesses still have the, kind of record keeping.
If nothing else, from a management perspective.
Right.
to
From
be
a
able to operationally
management,
run it
but
well,
some
efficiently.
don't. So
Okay.
he asked us the question, what should I tell them? And I said, tell them it's going to take time to sell your business and they need to start
Right.
today.
Start accounting correctly now.
Today.
Yes. Right.
Because you and I know, how long does it take to sell your business?
8, 10, 12 months.
If you had 8 to 10 perfect books and records,
Right.
you'd be in pretty good
Yeah,
shape.
you got a
right?
really good story that you're telling at that point.
And especially if your business is growing, and especially if you're in the middle of the year.
Right.
Because here we are, we could be talking, it could be, if you're listening to this, it could be any time of year other than like February,
Right.
where you have like maybe a clean set of books and records for the whole previous
From the previous year. Yep.
But historically, if you're in June or July or September, your QuickBooks may not be up to snuff, or you may not pay attention to them, or you may not be working, you don't get everything booked on your books until the end of the year. You can't do that.
No. And one of the main reasons is because when your buyer goes to get funding, the lender is going to say, I need not just the historical, the last 2 or 3 years, I need the year to date. And every month with the SBA, right? Every month you roll into a new month, the SBA goes, okay, I need last month's now. So if the loan doesn't close in September and you roll into October, the SBA is going to say, yeah, we've already approved it, but they want to make sure that you have not taken your foot off the gas as a seller.
Yeah.
And they're going to want to see the next or the last month's full balance sheet, profit and loss statement to make sure that the business is still doing what it was supposed to be doing.
Yeah. And if you're running your business like it's the 1980s and you don't have a POS system,
Ledger. You have a ledger.
and you have a little sign out in front of your cash register that says cash only.
Cash discounts. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it might
Cash only is
it
even
might
worse.
be time to end that practice, or
Yeah.
it might be time to start keeping good books and records.
Well, I think, that's a good point, not just because it will be able to provide the data that is needed for the buyer, but you got to make it easy for the buyer. It makes the buyer business more attractive to know the buyer doesn't want to worry about, hey, if I'm not there and this is a cash only deal, is any of that money, not
Right.
finding its way into the till, so to speak.
Yeah.
But if it's a POS system, it's a swipe, it's a Venmo, it's a whatever. Now they know that all those sales are being captured.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's-
Okay.
What's number three?
3, keep your eye on the ball. This is Steve Noodleberg, commercial right there, on the ball.
Yeah, keep your eye on the ball. I mean, how many sellers, and you said it right at the beginning of this, it's like, now I'm for sale. And how many people take their foot off the gas?
Which is a major mistake. You got to not only just keep your foot on the gas, like accelerate, push it to the pedal to the metal, as we said earlier, to keep the business growing. Get another contract. Get another, set of people coming into. Maybe you have to hire somebody. Although I will say this, Andy, this just happened where somebody hired 2 more people and the SBA came back and said, wait a minute, that affects the numbers. They added 2 technicians in this particular service business. And so they said, well, now the cost has gone up. And we
Right.
went back to the SBA and argued and said, yes, that's true. But those 2 more people, the average per employee revenue that it brings
Right.
in is X. You got to calculate that piece too.
Sure.
And they said, oh, that's fair. We probably should do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit, especially when an investment like that will lag. Like say it will
You're
take
hiring the
time.
people right away.
Right.
Yeah.
You're
You gotta
hiring
bring
the
the
people
revenue
right
later.
away, and you got to
Yeah.
get projects done. Or you're getting a new crew for your landscaping business, and you're hoping to grow into it. That's certainly. I always tell sellers you got to run your business like you're not going to.
That's
sell,
correct. Yes.
because it may not sell.
That's true.
I mean, weird things happen in the world. Things change. Clients leave. They come on. But the key for making sure your business stays at the value or becomes
grows.
more valuable is to keep your eye on the ball. Your business is not sold yet.
No. So the opposite of what you're saying is that if revenues go down because you do sit back and go out for sale now, then expect the value is going to drop.
Yeah.
That buyer is going to come back and retrade and say, hey, it's not worth as much as you said it was because, look, revenues have dropped off, profits lower, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So keep your foot on the gas.
Yes, you must.
Good.
All right, what's the next one?
All right, clean up your business. Clean it? What? Are you kidding?
Yeah. I have another example of a business that we had this business for sale. It happened to be like a wholesale battery company for the marine industry. You think car batteries kind of thing for marine industry, for, jet skis and, things like that. And people were coming to this place to buy batteries and like it was a kind of a trucking depot where people would come in, and the bathroom that the owner would have to use attached to the sink was literally an EPA disaster site.
Was never going to pass a phase 1.
It wouldn't pass a phase 0. I mean, this thing was disgusting.
Yep.
And we try to tell people that when a buyer comes to look at your business, they are imagining themselves
coming in it. That's right. It's his mind now. Yeah. Do I like it? Do I feel comfortable in it?
Does it smell?
Yeah. And if the buyer brings his wife, let's assuming he's a buyer and she's going to be there as well, and she walks in and she sees a disgusting bathroom or break room or kitchen, she's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good. It's like selling a house, right?
Right.
The fresh coat of paint, curb appeal, all of those things that will say to the buyer as the seller, if you don't care about how much your business appears well, if you're not interested in the upkeep of the business, then how much are you really going to care about me as the buyer when I take over? Like, you didn't put enough time, effort, and energy into make sure and you maintained it.
And I think there are other two really good examples from businesses that you and I used to be in. So number one, like I used to be in the lighting business.
Yeah.
And so when you walk into a place and it's not lit well, or there are fixtures that are not working,
right?
I mean, just get them
fixed.
It
doesn't show well.
And what about the industry that used to
think
be
about the sign business? Like, people used to say, "Oh, it's a sign shop. Of course, it's going to be dirty." No, it doesn't have to be dirty. In fact, when I first started at Signorama, Minuteman was our parent company, and I can remember the director of training, Michael Jutt, used to say to people, "You own a print shop, but it can be clean." You know how he demonstrated that? He cleaned the printing presses in a white tuxedo at the training school, okay? To prove the point, your print shop doesn't need to look like a print shop.
Right.
No business should look that way. You need to make it clean. You need to make it presentable. First impressions, when that buyer walks in the door, do I want this place?
Yeah. And what about their signage?
Right. Yeah.
So should their signage look good?
Yeah,
should
absolutely.
it be up to date?
Yeah, absolutely.
How much does signage change the look of a business when you pull up to it?
Not only, even if it changes the look of it for sure, but it gets you noticed again. Because over time, you kind of blend into the scenery, and then you drive down the road and somebody put up a new sign, you're going to notice it right away. It stands out because it's not the norm.
Yeah.
So take pride in the appearance of it before you list, or once you've listed it, to make sure that when you do show it to buyers, they come in and they go, "Wow, that place looks great. I could see myself there."
Yeah.
All right, and bring us to number 5.
Number 5 is fix it or throw it out.
Toss that puppy.
We recently went through this again with someone that had an old truck that was lying around, and the buyers desperately wanted the truck, and the truck was irreparable or really not replaceable. They didn't need the truck. It was just sitting around. But the one was that back to that battery company, same stupid company that I did. They were constantly fighting, but they had 2 charging battery machines,
like
right?
stations,
Yeah,
charging stations. Okay.
One was the brand new one where you were just sliding them on and they clipped in, and beautiful brand new digital output of how much the batteries were then. And then they had this old octopus looking one with all the wires. And it was sitting in the back, gathering dust. And the buyer said, well, I want that machine to work. And the seller said, it hasn't worked in years. And I have this brand new machine that does all the charging that we need. He's like, yeah, but I'm coming in here and I'm going to expand the business.
So
I want you to fix that machine. It's on the list.
That's even worse.
That's even worse. So I would just say that, like if you have something in your business, they're going to want everything they see.
Right. So let's go back for a second, because that's a really good point. Like when you start with the listing, one of the things you have to do as the buyer is create the FF&E, the fixtures, furnishings, and equipment list. And you need to list everything that's going to be included in the sale. And in fact, the template that we use has all of those things. Then it has the things that might be leased, because the buyer may need to take on a lease payment, assume the lease. Yeah. And then we also list all the things that are not included in the sale, because there's always going to be something in somebody's business where you said earlier, that's the mirror my grandmother gave me, or it's a painting, or it's something
point later.
Yeah, that came from a client. We sold the bar, and in the restaurant and the bar, there were Yankee memorabilia everywhere, but there were 2 or 3 things that actually belonged to customers. And the customer gave them to the proprietor. Well, we have to assume that customer may want that back when that seller leaves.
But this is like to equipment, fix it or throw it out. Just get rid of any excess equipment that you have. The buyers are going to want to see all the assets in working order. So that's the other thing. I mean, if you have a forklift that's like half working, or it's the seats are damaged, or it just doesn't look good, or it works when you kick it 3 times to start it.
X on the front.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to have to fix this stuff or get rid of it.
Yep. So that's it. Just go through, take a look at it from the eyes of a buyer. When they walk in, is there something there that you say, that thing doesn't work, get rid of it? Yeah. Is there excess inventory? Is there stuff there that you would just go, I haven't touched
You're getting ahead of yourself. We're going to do that in the next episode. Separately.
Okay, that's from 6 to 10.
Yes.
So you come back for episode number 2, and you'll get
we're going to do that next time.
Those key takeaway points too.
Yes.
Good.
But for right now.
Yeah. Fixtures, furnishing, equipment, fix it or toss it. It's one or the other. Okay. Either get rid of it or make sure that it's working. It's in good working order. Because if it's not, you can be sure that the buyer's going to come in and say, wow, I'm going to have to fix that myself. Guess where that money's coming from?
Right.
Your sale price.
Or the brokers.
Your sale price.
Yeah, sometimes. So I've seen that before. I've been at the closing table and they said, why don't we just split it 3 ways? So I'm like, wait, how did I get in this conversation?
Yeah. So as the broker, make sure that you're also saying to your seller, what do we do with that thing over there?
Yeah.
Are you using that? We need to fix it.
These are the things that blow up deals. Right. People, people get irrational at the end.
Emotional.
Irrational. And, the buyer's taking advantage of me the whole time, or the seller's taking advantage of me the whole time. And these are the things that you could, as a seller and as the broker, just clean up these 5 things. We got 6 through 10 coming in our next episode. But first, we have a listing of the week.
Okay. And a deal of the week.
So
let me give you the first 5 again. Number 1, we said, get your books and records up to date and organized. Number 2, start keeping perfect books and records today if you haven't been doing that. Number 3, keep your eye on the ball. Don't take your foot off the gas. Number 4, clean it up. And number 5, fix it or toss it out. And we'll see you for episode 2, items 6 through 10.
See you soon.
Hey, Andy, do you know what time it is?
What time?
It's time for Deal of the Week.
Ring the bell.
Jennifer Fox from the Transworld Boston office here with Ginia, one of our brokers in Boston, here to talk about a extremely popular, successful sale that he recently had, which was a bookkeeping company in New England. This was very popular. And Ginia, you had multiple offers and hundreds of NDAs signed on this opportunity. So why don't you tell us a little bit about this business and how you managed this process?
Was very unexpected amount of interest for a small boutique company and a somewhat legacy company. They've been in business for nearly 30 years. The demand was incredible. So we received inquiries from LA all the way to London. I mean, we were bombarded with calls, emails. So the challenge wasn't the interest, challenge was to finding the right buyer, because the seller built a very almost like family type relationship with local businesses, with little municipalities and small mom and pop shops. And for her, it was very important that someone with a good connection to the local community will take over. So that was the key challenge. So we were probably down to 5 or 6 solid offers at the end of this journey. And one company stood out. It was still a gentleman who worked as an accountant and decided to work for himself. This was a first-time entrepreneur. And his interview, I mean, the way he presented himself to the seller made a good impression, and he was the one who was eventually selected. So it wasn't about the price, it was more about the fit.
And that is so true. It sometimes isn't always about the price. We always want to make it competitive and get the highest price possible. But it's also about the connection and making sure employees and clients like that it lives on, because this is, like you said, a 30-year business. Like this is the seller's legacy, and they want to see it be successful and continue that. So it is also that connection that is so important, and finding the right buyers is important, and doing that well is just as important. So great job, Ginia, on another successful closing.
Hey, JT, do you know what time it is?
Money time?
Almost. It's time for Listing of the Week. Hey, welcome back, everybody. It is Listing of the Week, and I am with Garrick Roy from Transworld Business Advisors of Western Arizona. And Garrick, welcome aboard. And you got a nice listing.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. Appreciate it. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you.
The listing that we're spotlighting today is a construction masonry business.
Nice.
Third generation's been around for, originally started in California in the late 70s, transitioned to Arizona, early 90s, under the current owner for the last just under 30 years.
Wow.
So
that's a long time.
Obviously with it being third generation, it's really special to the seller. Just kind of looking to make sure that there's a great buyer, somebody to kind of take over that family legacy.
Right. How much are they asking?
So the purchase price just adjusted to 3.25.
All right.
Seller discretionary is 1.5 conservative.
Oh, nice. So just a little over 2, maybe.
Yeah. And it comes with $1 million worth of tangible physical equipment, to do all the jobs, right?
Right.
So,
and I'm sure a good backlog of business as well.
Yes.
Good
absolutely.
pipeline.
Good pipeline.
All right. Well, sounds like a great deal. What's the best way to get in touch with you?
Either give me a text, give me an email at gfoy@tworld.com, and I'd love to kind of explore that deal with anybody.
Yeah, no, nice deal. Owner retiring, 3 generations. That's the kind of stuff people are looking for.
Yep.
Thanks, Garrett.
Thanks, Andy.
Thanks for tuning in to the show today. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends on social media. And don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review on your favorite podcasting app. If you have questions, would like to appear, or have suggestions for topics for the show, get in contact with us through our website, thedealboardpodcast.com.